نستعينه ونستهديه ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد إن الأصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثات بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم لئن شكرتم لأزيدنكم. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يشكر الله من لا يشكر الناس. There is a story of a young man who was traveling with his uncle for Hajj. His mother and his uncle for Hajj. And I heard this firsthand. And at the end of the Hajj, when it was the time for the final tawaf al-wida, there was one additional person that his uncle was responsible for, and that was his father-in-law, his uncle's father-in-law. Complicated, but it was his uncle's responsibility to, and his father-in-law was very old, he was in his 80s, his uncle's responsibility to push him in the wheelchair to help him with the tawaf al-wida. But the young man wanted to help his, the spirit of helping. He told his uncle, "Don't worry, I'll take care of him, and I'll do the, rights for him." So it turns out that for this, the wheelchair, and every year it changes. The wheelchair Hujjaj were doing tawaf on the top level, and it was a very large circle. It was a very large circle. So to complete 7, it was a lot of effort and time. And this young man was pushing his uncle's father-in-law. And so after the Tawaf al-Wada, they met, and they all got together because they all split up in the effort of finishing the rounds. And the young man said to his uncle, it's done, and here's your father-in-law, and alhamdulillah I was able to do it. So his uncle said that, inshallah, Allah will give you the ajr for this. Inshallah, Allah will give you the ajr for this. Which is fine, right? Nothing wrong with that. But later that evening, that young boy, he went to a scholar in the tents of Mina. And he said to him that I am hurting here. And it's because after putting in so much effort and pushing the wheelchair for my uncle's father-in-law, he just said, well, Allah will give you the ajr for this. But he never thanked me. He never thanked me, and it's hurting me here. And so it came back eventually to the uncle that and the boy was traveling with his mother, so his uncle's sister came to him and said, you should have thanked him. You should have thanked my son because it was a lot of effort. You said, Allah will thank you, but and he went to a scholar, and the scholar said, La yashkurullah man la yashkurunnas. La yashkurullah man la yashkurunnas. This is a hadith. The one who doesn't thank the person, the people, does not thank Allah. And that really struck really hard in this man's life, this older uncle's life, and he changed completely after that. And he made it a vow to a decision that he will thank, from that point onwards, thank anybody who gives him an opportunity to thank him, meaning those who do anything for him. And it was an eye opener for him. And this man, his uncle was in his 40s, late 40s, not a young person. So the topic of today's khutbah is thanking people. And I'm going to start by pulling back and say that we look at the world around us, and it's very easy to become engrossed and fixated on what is happening in the world around us. And we lose the perspective, the big picture. We start fixating on our things and the events that surround us. But what is present in front of us is really not reality. It's a much deeper reality. And if we look through the lens of our being, we see things clearly. We see the reality of things. So, and this is connected to what I was talking about. And it's connected in a way that we don't really see what other people are doing for us. The reality of what other people are doing for us. We're so engrossed in our lives and ourselves, we don't see that reality. And over and again, we have this narrow focus, which is shattered by our being to see the much bigger picture of course, the people who make a difference in our lives. So we see things narrowly, and we keep forgetting that there's people in our lives that are making a big difference, or even a small difference. We see things superficially, like you give $100 and you say that your bank account is short $100. But that's not the case. You will see that $100 multiplied 700 times on the day of judgment. The reality is that your bank account really didn't go down. Again, the deen shatters our narrow focus of seeing. So it's natural for human nature to be fixated on ourselves. So let's look at this deeply and see why is it so important to thank people, not just the people that are in our lives, directly in touch with us, connected to us, but people who are not even in our lives, outside our focus of existence. We start teaching our children from the time that they're young that, this food is from Allah, thank Allah. This house is from Allah, your parents are from Allah, and this is all fine. But you need to step back and think that part and parcel with thanking Allah is to appreciate the circumstances that surround us. And in those circumstances, it is nothing but people that bring those circumstances to us. Allah uses those people. He doesn't drop food from the sky to your plate. The farmer sows the seed, he grows the crop. They take care of the animals and they milk the cows. Your mother prepares the meal. Your father goes out and earns the living that allows you to go out and buy the groceries, or the mother goes out. In many homes, of course, which is perfect. So the food doesn't drop from the sky into your plate and you thank Allah, Ya Allah, you gave me my lunch. All these people are involved in the process. So do you understand how critical it becomes to appreciate people that then bring the good to us, or even not good, but then that is also from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If something harms you, if someone harms you, we need to appreciate that Allah made this person a source of a test for me. He made this person a test for me to learn from it. So even if somebody cuts you off, and you're supposed to be patient, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put that in front of you on the road, like when you're driving. Allah put that in front of you so that He teaches you to be patient. Or if somebody hurts you, there is a lesson in there is a test in there, and we're supposed to pass that test. And some of us fail that test too. So the Muslim is being pushed and reminded that if we truly want to thank Allah, it is completed when we thank people as well. So as I said, we need to de-shackle to be able to thank people and to get into the mindset of understanding and appreciating what people do for us. We need to de-shackle the self, the me. And this is exemplified in a practice of our deen in which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam informs us that the best of those who give are those, I'm not going specifically but paraphrasing, are who thank people. Afshu salam, who are first in salam. And what is salam? Salam is getting outside of yourself and thinking of the person in front of you or inside of you. Salam is not just like we go in, to the masjid or wherever we are. We do our salah and we get out. The salam is looking outside of yourself, thanking the people on your way as you exit the masjid. Thinking outside of myself, the me. So in the effort to start thinking about thanking the world around us, we have to get outside of the self, the me. Allah created a community around me, around us, and the consequence of this community, I'm able to achieve what I'm able to achieve. And the community is built with people. Even for those that, I was mentioning, of course you focus on those that are with you, but for those who came driving to the masjid, these roads were built by people. I'm not saying that you look at Google the city township and say thank you to the person who built the road, but we need to at least appreciate that there are people involved. That allow you to get to where you are today. Come to the masjid. Somebody built your car. Even though if you don't want to thank the person, you do want to appreciate that. Please move forward. We're getting tight at the back. We don't have enough space. If you don't mind moving forward. Thank you. Another perspective is the perspective of the neighbor. Just giving examples. And we all know in our deen how important the neighbor is. Okay? This is again something that is emphasized immensely in our deen. We live in communities. Communities are made of neighbors. Your neighbor is a key component of your community. You can't be happy and healthy in your home and not know the state of your neighbor. Is he happy and healthy? You should inquire. You should find out what is their state. Are they having any issues or problems? You should show concern. Again, getting outside yourself. We have this masjid. It looks brand new. MashaAllah, it's so beautiful, but it is not brand new. It is a masjid that was constructed years ago by the efforts of a family. And we need to appreciate that. And we need to thank the people that were fundamental in producing this beautiful masjid and this nidus for this community that we're able to come to again and again. Not just for our Jummah Salah, but for so much more. And in Chicago, there was a time 30 years ago, 40 years ago, there were no masajid. And it was a handful of people that, while they were struggling to establish themselves in their careers and in their lives, they looked around and said, we don't have any masajid, we don't have any communities, so they started to get together, and this is not scholars, these are just people getting together and having Sunday schools in people's homes. And this is the effort of those people that has built slowly over the last 3 and 4 decades to produce what we have in Chicago with 100+ masajid. We need to appreciate that. Why are we saying Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam every time we hear the name of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? It's because we need to appreciate the effort of that one amazing human being, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that has brought what he has brought to us. Why do we say radiallahu anhu when we hear the names of the Sahaba? For the same reason. This is all to appreciate what others do for us in our lives. And we must